Hello, this is Sundry Weekend News, and we'll begin today with the Daily Shapiro, which arrived last night.
Daily Shapiro.
Yeah, the last couple of days I haven't been getting the Daily Wire email. I don't know why, but this came last night. And then the Daily Wire email came this morning, so we have plenty.
Weird.
Yeah. You're weird.
Weird face.
Tucker Carlson, stepmother of police officer charged in Rayshard Brooks shooting, fired from her job. Company releases statement. And the statement was that it was related to social media posts, supposedly, right? Even though they had just told her that her job was safe.
Yeah.
Do you know what the supposed social media posts were now?
They claimed they were racist or whatever. And no, what probably happened is that she came out in support of police and her son, stepson, be it whatever, but and then her coworkers said they didn't feel comfortable interacting with her anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Because she's pro-cop, because she's pro-son.
Fucking people.
For a legit shoot.
Watch. Rioters set American flag on fire on top of George Washington's statue and then tear it down.
Seems like overkill.
Yeah.
Why'd they have to burn the flag too?
This is all about overkill. Everything is overkill.
George Washington canceled. Thomas Jefferson canceled.
Mm-hmm.
But since they're canceled, I want to go get some Thomas Jefferson for the yard. Be a nice big old Thomas Jefferson statue, put it in the backyard.
Why not the front yard?
No, because I want to get the Iwo Jima flag raising memorial for the front yard.
Oh.
I just need a truck big enough to carry it.
Well, you gotta do it before they destroy it. They don't just pull them down, they fucking burn them. And Popular Mechanics is telling them how to melt them.
With thermite.
Yeah.
I cannot wait till somebody tries that and horribly disfigures himself. So Popular Mechanics has to pay that lawsuit out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they put out how-to instructions.
Mm-hmm. Atlanta police continuing to call out sick over DA's decision to charge police officer. More power to them. What the fuck else are they gonna do? They can't do their jobs. Let the city have their independence without cops. Messages among NYPD urging strike on July 4th, report says.
I love that idea.
And it's nice that it says their independence and not their July 4th without cops. At least somebody can say what July 4th is for.
Yeah. So, hey, we got a July 4th holiday.
Mm-hmm.
We do, huh? That's awesome. Good job, bro.
Like I don't understand why people call things like July 4th instead of what it's actually for. Why do they say Juneteenth? Also, I read yesterday that a long time ago it was referred to as Jubilee, and I think that's so much better. They should call it that.
Jubilee, and then there's
Juneteenth means absolutely nothing. It's
Black
just a
Independence Day.
contraction of June 19th. That's all that is. You can when you take away the meaning of the name, then you can assign whatever meaning you want, such as they're still fighting for their liberation, not that they're actually celebrating their freedom.
Oh yeah, the Black Liberation.
Mm-hmm.
Please point me to the slaveholders. Oh, it's all the white people. No,
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's not systemic racism. There's not police.
I think I had a contraction.
Don't do that.
No, it's just fractioning weeks. It was probably a kick. Quote, it hurts. Great-grandson angered Aunt Jemima's legacy will be erased. I was wondering when actual family was going to appear, because these are actual people that these brands are based on.
No, well, technically, not really.
Well, Uncle Ben is based on a farmer from Texas, and the likeness was a waiter in New York.
Well, the Aunt Jemima was based on somebody's cook they had as a kid or something. So.
Okay.
I don't know.
But apparently there's a great-grandson.
Yeah. But he doesn't matter because he's racist. Clearly.
Protect your online privacy with ExpressVPN. Protect yourself with the market's #1 leading VPN, ExpressVPN. Your data and identity are relentlessly under attack by hackers, corporations, and governments. 2020 is the year to take back control of your data. New Year's resolutions may be hard to keep, but using ExpressVPN couldn't be easier. Get 3 months free. Tune into The Ben Shapiro Show.
3 months free.
And the election wire also came yesterday evening.
Why is the election wired? Too much coffee.
With President Trump set to hold his first campaign since March 2nd, this coming Saturday, that's
Campaign
today. Oh, yeah. They did forget a word. I noticed that yesterday, but then I got carried away reading it today. This coming Saturday,
Allegedly.
election 2020 is about to get underway. Again, for real this time. Maybe. But are pollsters going to get it all wrong like they did in 2016? Is Joe Biden far ahead in all the polls right now, going to blow it and snatch defeat from the jaws of victory? God, I hope so. And how much longer will we talk about the fact that presidents play golf?
What? Presidents play golf?
And it's so awful of them to play golf when there's bad things happening in the world. Not like Obama did it also. Nobody complained then. Well, except for Republicans.
I'm golfing some bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I do golfed. Golf.
1. Are shamed pollsters about to blow it again? In 2016, nearly every political pollster got it wrong. Not by a little, by a lot. Days before the election, the New York Times said Hillary Clinton had an 85% chance of winning. The Reuters news agency put her odds at 90%, and the Princeton Election Consortium said Clinton had more than a 99% chance of moving into the White House, predicting she'd win 312 electoral votes. If they get it super wrong, I don't think it's their fault. I think Tim Pool is the one that says that a lot of people are probably just not wanting to admit that they support the president because of the whole current climate right now.
If somebody came up and asked me, I would be like, huh? What? Who?
Oh, no, you wouldn't. You would tell the truth.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be an Orange Man bad supporter, but...
What? You're not.
Isn't Trump Orange Man bad all the time?
What?
I never thought I'd be Orange Man bad supporter, as in, Trump supporter.
Oh.
But...
I thought you meant supporting the people that say Orange Man bad.
No.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Clinton was predicted to win by so much. She didn't. Trump clobbered her 304 to 227 in the Electoral College. Since that debacle, pollsters have been trying to rejuvenate their reputations, but they might be heading toward another colossal blunder. Right now, pollsters are putting Joe Biden up by as much as 9 points, yet Politico says they could well be wrong again. Quote, in fact, most pollsters believe that, on balance, state polls are overstating the scale of Biden's advantage. That was precisely the problem in 2016. The national polls were largely accurate to within the margin of error, but there were too few state polls, and many of those that were conducted failed to collect accurate data, especially from white voters without college degrees in key swing states, the outlet reported. And those issues haven't been fixed.
You know states that Hillary didn't even go to?
Yeah.
I want to win the presidency, but I don't want to visit every state. Just the ones that have the most voters.
Just the ones I care about. 2. Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Daily Wire editor-in-chief Ben Shapiro recently weighed in on the 2020 election with a piece headlined, How Biden Could Be Handing Trump His Re-Election. Shapiro says Biden has been doing well in the polls because he has spent the last few months in his isolation in Delaware. But even from his self-imposed seclusion, Biden appears to be finding a way to lose in November by embracing radical proposals instead of making the election a referendum upon President Trump. Quote, but do Americans really want the world remade? Or are they simply longing for the world of 4 months ago when unemployment stood at 3.5%, when incomes were rising at the lowest end of the income scale, when Americans could attend events without fear of infection and death? Are Americans truly desperate for a reshaping of our medical system, a universal basic income, and trillions more in debt? Shapiro writes. Biden seems to be betting on the latter, and that's idiocy of the highest order. It completely undermines his entire case for the nomination. It allows Trump to place the new radical agenda front and center rather than his own foibles. Biden's go-for-broke strategy is a massive opportunity for Trump if Trump doesn't blow it. End quote.
Yes.
3. Is Joe all there?
No. That dude has lost it.
The former vice president, 77, has a long history of misspeaking, losing his train of thought, and just flat out being a bit odd. He's been stuck in his basement for months, but he has still been able to keep being a full-time gaffe machine.
Full-time gaffe machine.
Full-time gaffe machine. Quote, We hold these truths to be self-evident, Biden said in March. All men and women created by, the thing, unquote.
You forgot it. He's a Democrat. Can't acknowledge God.
But the quote isn't even all men are created by God. It's all men are created equal.
And endowed by their creator.
Well, yeah. Now comes a new poll by Zogby International of 1,007 likely voters that say a majority of Americans, 55%, think Biden is in the early stages of dementia. Likely voters that says a majority of Americans. Overall, subgroups who normally approve of Trump's job as president were the most likely to believe Biden could be suffering from dementia, the poll found. Thus, majorities of Republicans, 77% more likely / 23% less likely, and independents, 56% more likely / 44% less likely, thought Joe Biden had early onset dementia, while nearly a third of Democrats, 32% more likely / 68% less likely, thought this was the case. Never good when everyone's talking about whether a candidate has dementia. You might like expert ownership. Learn how to own a business without it owning you. The Benham brothers have over a dozen businesses, including a real estate portfolio that spans over 35 states, and they didn't sell their soul for it. To celebrate the launch of their new course, Expert Ownership, they're offering 15% off to new members. Whether you are sick of the 9-to-5 or have a 10-year-old business, Expert Ownership can help you achieve your goals. What? What are you saying? Nothing?
I was just upset.
About? Your game?
Yes.
Okay. 4. Golfgate. Do you say that redux or redo?
Redo.
Golfgate redo.
Or redux if you don't have fun with it.
Redux. Redux.
Redux.
That's when you have ducks, and then you lose your ducks, and then you get your ducks back, you redux.
It's ducking ridiculous. Oh, son of a...
Presidents play golf. Even William Howard Taft, who tipped the scales at nearly 350 pounds but hit the links regularly. President Trump plays golf. He's pretty good. Barack Obama played golf. Admittedly very badly. George W. Bush played golf, but quit during the Iraq War. You've got to go back to Ronald Reagan to find a non-golfer. But presidents and the political opponents who want to replace them in the White House argue endlessly about the game. Trump bashed Obama for playing. Now Joe Biden is slamming Trump for playing. Nearly 100,000 lives have been lost and tens of millions are out of work. Meanwhile, the president spent his day golfing, Biden wrote Saturday in a Twitter post. No, that was too legible. I don't think that Biden wrote that. I think one of Biden's assistants wrote that. Biden wrote Saturday in a Twitter post, along with a 30-second ad featuring Trump golfing at his...
No.
What?
I already said 2 weeks ago. You show me Biden on camera.
Oh, sending out a tweet.
Showing the phone.
Yeah.
And sending a tweet, and I'll believe he uses Twitter. Otherwise, nah. That dude can't even go on national television without busting ass. You see that interview where he ripped up your fart? It's hilarious.
Yeah, I think so.
And they're going on, and everybody in the studio is like, what the fuck, dude? Did you seriously do that? And they're like,
well, he's old.
He's like,
Old people can't always hold it in.
It's not like you fucking stepped on a duck. But no, it's not about that. It's like control. You can hold it in.
I'll bet Trump can hold it in.
Yeah, Trump's a tight ass, though.
Along with a 30-second ad featuring Trump golfing at his private club in Virginia, juxtaposed with eerie pandemic footage amid dramatic music. Trump, as he does, fired back. What they didn't say is that it's the first time I've played golf in almost 3 months, that Biden was constantly vacationing, relaxing, and making shady deals with other countries, Trump wrote on Twitter.
Shady deals, other countries. What? What shady deals?
Hmm?
With other countries.
I think he's talking about Biden when he was in office as vice president.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Mr. Quid Pro Quo bragging about it on the campaign trail there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found that to be quite hilarious, too.
Also left out of the video, said Trump, was that Barack Obama was always playing golf, doing much of his traveling in a fume-spewing 747 to play golf in Hawaii. This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Once even teeing off immediately after announcing the gruesome death of a great young man by ISIS. That's on there. I didn't just make that up. That's on there. I'm not the one being cheesy.
Dude's like, recently lost a man to ISIS. He was beheaded on national television. But me and my golf bag, we're gonna go out here and we're gonna play a few rounds. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel some sympathy for that because you might, after having to make that sort of announcement, you might just want to, block it out for a bit. But when you're the president, all eyes are upon you. You need to remember that.
Yeah, and the thing is, what could he do in the moment? I mean, let the people golf. Have you've seen how the presidency ages most normal people?
Mm-hmm.
Trump's not aging, but
Trump looks amazingly well for what's
pretty
going
good for
on.
being but it's because he hasn't had a chance to relax either. But at the same time, he hasn't been stressed out. He sees something that he wants and he goes for it. So there's no stress or drama. He's old school cowboying it up. He just pulls out his gun, just shoots his way in the door. Take it or leave it, man. So, I ain't mad at that.
5. Klobuchar bails. Who's left in the 2020 Veep stakes? Senator Amy Klobuchar on Friday dropped out of contention.
You laugh like that when Veep stakes. You laughed at that? Okay.
It was a sarcastic laugh.
Okay.
Senator Amy Klobuchar on Friday dropped out of contention to be Joe Biden's running mate and offered some advice to the Democratic candidate. I think this is a moment to put a woman of color on that ticket, she said. There are so many incredibly qualified women, but if you want to heal this nation right now, my party, yes, but our nation, this is sure a hell of a way to do it.
Qualifications don't matter. Put a black one up there. What the fuck? Don't let her overt racism show.
Mm-hmm. If people were that concerned with healing the nation with black candidates, then I think one of the Democratic presidential candidates they could have chosen could have been black. Because they had several choices. But no, they didn't go for it.
Is like, all these people out there rioting, maybe the protesters, some of them they vote. But rioters, they ain't voting. All the people causing all the problems, they're not voters.
Maybe.
Even if they are legal, they're not voting.
Biden has reportedly narrowed his list of potential vice presidential running mates to 6 candidates as his selection process enters a second round of vetting. Klobuchar wasn't on that list. Oh, so she'd already been narrowed out? She'd been eliminated from the list already, but
she wasn't even in contention.
She's just getting attention by supposedly trying to put attention on the black candidates.
Word, God.
The top names include failed Democrat presidential candidates Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren and Senator Kamala Harris of California. So there's actually still a white woman on the list.
What, did you just assume her race? Maybe she's transracial.
Well, she did the ancestry thing, so now everybody knows that she's white.
Good at.
What? Elizabeth Warren?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, she's so white, she's barely... Somebody, like 10 generations ago, might have had sex with a Brazilian native. Maybe. It's possible.
The other big name to be rising up the charts is former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice.
Oh, hate her. I hate her so much right now.
Wasn't she the one who, at the end of the Obama administration, sent an email to herself making sure that she was distanced from what the investigations that were happening at the very end of the administration?
She's the one... Oh, yeah. The one
Yeah.
with the email where she kept saying...
This is completely legal.
Book.
This is by the book. Yeah.
By the book. She said it like 30 times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was like...
I guess that not distancing herself, but like trying to cover her ass.
Yeah.
The other three names on Biden's reported shortlist include Representative Val Demings of Florida, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Like
I am so glad that what's her name, the failed governor, Stacey Abrams. I'm so glad she's not on the list.
What are you talking about? She's the legit governor of Georgia, don't you know?
Biden has said he will pick a woman as his running mate, and the bookies quickly adjusted their odds. With race now becoming a big topic, the bookmakers are adjusting again, with the top three contenders all being black. After several missteps, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has plunged while Demings, a former police chief from the swing state of Florida, and Rice have soared. But Harris is the odds-on favorite. Here are the latest odds via bookies.com.
So, Rice... Oh, Susan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope it's her, because how easy is that one to beat?
And that would be like a fun Obama administration reunion, Biden and Rice together again.
String together a montage of all the time she lied about that video, blaming a video on Benghazi, or Benghazi on a video. And just play that in a fucking loop. Ain't nobody gonna vote for her. Because she knowingly, actively lied to cover up Hillary Clinton's incompetence is a, what do you call it? Secretary of State? Yeah.
That sounds right. 6. By the numbers, Trump versus Biden. Steady as she goes. Steady as she goes is the takeout of last week's polls compiled by Real Clear Politics, with both Biden and Trump moving little. Biden stands at 50.1% and Trump at 41.3%, giving Biden a plus 8.8 lead. That's up just a bit from the week before when Biden had a plus 8.1 lead. Here's how some swing states look right now. Wisconsin, Biden up 5.4 was 3.4. Michigan, Biden up 8.6 was 7.3. Florida.
Yeah, but
what?
Swing states are always dirty. They don't look pretty. Because, I mean, look at couples who swing. They're not attractive.
By Florida, Biden up 4.6 was 3.4. Pennsylvania, Biden up 5.6 was 3.3. North Carolina tied. That's interesting. Arizona, Biden up 2 was up 4. Oh, so he went down in Arizona.
Of course he did.
Meme of the week. The philosophy of Joe Biden. I'm going to click on this and it's probably going to take me somewhere else.
Philosophy of Joe Biden? This isn't about philosophy.
Okay. This philosophy of Joe Biden.
The act of protesting should never be allowed to overshadow the reason for the protest. The act of protesting should never be allowed to overshadow the reason for the protest in the first place.
Don't ever, for any reason, do anything to anyone, for any reason, ever, no matter what.
We can't allow the protesting to overshadow the purpose of the protest.
Ever. for any reason whatsoever. Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way. Like an improv conversation.
Share that with me.
I do? Can I do it later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't lose it.
That's not exactly fair to Joe Biden, though, because honestly, I agree with what he said.
Obviously.
I know it sounds silly, but he's right.
Yeah. But it's the only way it's not fair is that he's nowhere near as funny as Steve Carell.
Yeah. We are on the Daily Wire for today, Saturday, June 20th now.
Is Lance Bottom's going to be in this too?
Lance Bottoms. Keisha Lance Bottoms, right?
No, Lance Bottom's. Gay
What?
porn star.
Oh, aren't you funny?
No.
Is that real?
No, I don't know. It should be. Hold on.
No, don't.
I'm going to look it up.
Let the city have their independence without cops. That was on the last one. Messages among NYPD urging strike on July 4th, report says. Schwarzenegger. Only an absolute moron would make California mask requirement political. What does that mean?
Say that again?
Schwarzenegger says only an absolute moron would make California mask requirement political.
Oh.
I'm curious. What does this mean? I know that California made mask wearing a requirement.
No, he's on the side of masks.
Well, he is old.
He says it's public health thing, blah 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 blah.
He is old, and so he's at risk.
Meh.
Shortly after California Governor Gavin Newsom ordered all citizens of his state to wear masks outdoors or in public places, actor and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger said that anyone who makes it political is an absolute moron. This is 100% the right move, Schwarzenegger tweeted. This will help us beat this terrible virus. The science is unanimous. Oh, the science is unanimous! If we all wear masks, we slow down the spread and can reopen safely. It's not a political issue. Anyone making it a political issue is an absolute moron who can't read. Okay. In a statement on Thursday, Newsom said that masks would be required in public places and outdoors in response to the rising number of cases. Our numbers are going up, not going down. Hospitalization numbers are just starting to creep back up. Well, that's good for the hospitals, though. They were too empty, weren't they? What?
It's good for the hospitals.
It is.
It's bad for everybody else who has to pay for the insurance.
And I'm very concerned by what we're seeing, Newsom told Los Angeles ABC 7. We think the most impactful thing we can do, short of going back to a stay-at-home order, is wearing face coverings when we can't practice physical distancing.
What happened after the last stay-at-home order?
Oh, wait. So in his statement, he said wearing face coverings when we can't practice physical distancing. But the order is just to always wear them when you're in public.
Face just to always wear them.
And outdoors. So why is his statement being more, measured than the actual order?
Because you measured.
Newsom made no mention of the fact that California recently went through a wave of protests and riots that the medical community largely supported. The Department of Public Health said of masks, the use of face coverings by everyone can limit the release of infected droplets when talking, coughing, and or sneezing, as well as reinforce physical distancing. Though not as incendiary, Schwarzenegger's denunciation of those politicizing mask requirements echo that of actor Matthew McConaughey, who lamented the fact that COVID-19 immediately transformed into a political issue. I could feel that this united purpose we all have as Americans to beat this enemy and this virus, that purpose got hijacked a bit by partisan politics, McConaughey told Fox News in early May. The narrative became, if you want to go to work, you're on the far right. If you don't go to work and you want to stay home, you're on the far left. Well, is that wrong? And now even the mask wearing is getting politicized, where if you want to wear a mask, you wear a mask, you're a liberal. And if you don't, you're a conservative. And that's just not true, he added. Rather than fight two wars against both each other and the virus, McConaughey said that Americans need to come together and fight the virus. But if we try to fight the one against the virus, which is the one we should be fighting, McConaughey said, we're going to beat it. Part of it is saying just that to remind us that this is not about politics, it's about us, the USA, he added. We've got to take care of each other right now. We have a collective purpose. I mean, how many times are we unanimously convicted of an enemy that we all want to beat? And look at how great Americans are when purpose comes to us in a crisis. Look at who we are in World War II. We are not the same people as we were
No,
in
we're
World
more
War II.
racist now. And the reason conservatives don't want to wear masks is because black people are more susceptible to COVID. So, I don't remember what the left-wing websites say anymore. Yeah, it's a racist virus. Stuff and things.
The great-grandson of Aunt Jemima won. Oakland mayor launches hate crime
Why don't
probe.
you open that one, though?
What?
Aunt Jemima, I want to know about that dude.
Okay, fine. Earlier this week, Quaker Oats announced that they will be rebranding and removing the name and imagery of their Aunt Jemima brand goods as to apparently not perpetuate racial stereotypes. She's a nice-looking lady. I don't understand how that's a racial stereotype. You don't have to remove her likeness. If it's true that it's only Aunt because slave owners would refer to older slaves as, stop it, aunt and uncle. I mean, if that's true, and you want to remove the aunt, then make it like, I don't know, Mrs. Jemima. Give them their respect that the slave owners wouldn't give them. Make it Mrs. But you don't have to remove her face. That's disrespectful. Okay, Ms. Jemima. Whatever. Lady Jemima. You're just Jemima.
Lady Jemima.
We recognize Aunt Jemima's origins are based on a racial stereotype, said a statement from Kristen Kropfel, Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer of Quaker Foods North America. While work has been done over the years to update the brand in a manner intended to be appropriate and respectful, we realize those changes are not enough. We acknowledge the brand has not progressed enough to appropriately reflect the confidence, warmth, and dignity that we would like it to stand for today, Kropfel added. We are starting by removing the image and changing the name. We will continue the conversation by gathering diverse perspectives from both our organization and the black community to further evolve the brand and make it one everyone can be proud to have in their pantry. If there's anyone in the black community that tells them that they like the current image and want them to keep it, they're probably not going to listen, though.
Of course not. Because that black person who likes the image and the brand
Must be an Uncle Tom.
or a coon, or not really black, or what's the other thing? Oh yeah, any of the other names that they call people who think off the Democrat plantation. You're not thinking like a black person is supposed to think, so therefore we hate you.
Yeah, you ain't black. Though the move was apparently made by Quaker Oats to be racially sensitive, Larnell Evans Sr., a great-grandson of Aunt Jemima, is not pleased at all with the erasure of his great-grandmother's legacy. Quote, "This is an injustice for me and my family," Evans, 66, told Patch reporter Mark Conkle. "This is part of my history, sir. The racism they talk about, using images from slavery, that comes from the other side, white people. This company profits off images of our slavery, and their answer is to erase my great-grandmother's history, a black female. It hurts."
Hurts so good.
According to Patch, Evans' now deceased great-grandmother, Anna Short Harrington, took over for Nancy Green, the first Aunt Jemima, following Green's death in 1923. Harrington, a cook at the Kappa Sigma fraternity house in Syracuse, was discovered by a Quaker Oats representative while serving up her pancakes, a favorite of local frat boys at the New York State Fair in 1935, the report outlined. So long removed from slavery.
Yeah, I mean, talking about a woman who's discovered and pushed into stardom.
That's the American dream.
She made some money.
Quaker Oats used Harrington's likeness on products and advertising, and it sent her around the country to serve flapjacks dressed as Aunt Jemima.
Hells yeah.
The gig made her a national celebrity. That sounds like a pretty sweet gig.
Yeah, but who cares about history? Tear it
They
all
should,
down.
I mean, if they want to change anything, they could just do that again. They could go out and find a really
Find a new
awesome
Aunt Jemima.
black cook, somewhere
To get
and send her around the
Michelle
country.
Obama will be the new Aunt Jemima. She once phoned the president. Now she makes flapjacks.
Evans and a nephew of Harrington's filed a lawsuit against Quaker Oats in 2014, seeking $3 billion from the company for not paying royalties to descendants of Harrington's. The suit, however, was dismissed by a federal judge in Chicago with prejudice. Quote, "She worked for that Quaker Oats for 20 years, Evans said, according to Patch. She traveled all the way around the United States and Canada making pancakes as Aunt Jemima for them. This woman served all those people, and it was after slavery. She worked as Aunt Jemima. That was her job. How do you think I feel as a black man sitting here telling you about my family history they're trying to erase? How many white people were raised looking at characters like Aunt Jemima at breakfast every morning? Exactly."
How many 14-year-olds tugged it to Aunt Jemima?
The Marine Corps veteran posed. "How many white corporations made all them profits and didn't give us a dime? I think they should have to look at it. They can't just wipe it out while we still suffer." How are you suffering, though? "After making all that money, and now's the time when black people are saying we want restitution for slavery, they're just going to erase history like it didn't happen?" Evans added. "They're not going to give us nothing? What gives them the right?"
I mean, they're still using her likeness, so why weren't they paying royalties?
That's a good question. I wonder why the judge
'Cause-
dismissed it in 2014 with prejudice.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that, it's like the Beatles. You can't just play their shit without giving the estate money. So, she's based on a real person, and they're still making money off of her, then her estate should still get monies.
True.
Racist Quaker Oats.
Back to this. Oakland mayor launches hate crime probe into nooses in trees. Black man says it's exercise equipment he put there.
What?
Do you want me to click on that too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I need to know this racist black man and the nooses in his yard.
Mm-hmm. Oakland Democrat Mayor Libby
He's got a
Schaaf.
really strong neck.
Stop. Oakland Democrat Mayor Libby Schaaf said on Wednesday that several nooses found in a park this week have been removed, and that they took away his workout equipment, and that a hate crime investigation has been launched.
So fucked up, man.
Have been removed, and that a hate crime investigation has been launched, and the FBI is now involved in the matter. However, the Associated Press reported that Victor Singby, who is black, has come forward and said that he and his friends put the ropes there months ago for the purpose of creating a swing system for exercising. Quote,
I don't know why.
"Out of the dozen and hundreds and thousands of people that walked by, no one has thought that it looked anywhere close to a noose. Folks have used it for exercise. It was really a fun addition to the park that we tried to create," Singby said. "It's unfortunate that a genuine gesture of just wanting to have a good time got misinterpreted into something so heinous. And then they went and they fucking took away their toys. That's so mean."
Oh, and then, some white bitch, walked by and was like, "Oh my god, look at those nooses in the trees.
Oh my
It's
god.
a hate crime.
It's a hate crime.
Shut up, Karen."
Shut up, Karen.
They go there. And then, what's that say? It should have been a white dude that hung him up there as exercise equipment in a predominantly black neighborhood. It wouldn't have been nooses. They'd be like, "What, you comparing us to monkeys now?"
Maybe some of this guy, he said it was him and his friends that put him up. Maybe some of his friends are white, but he had to be the one to come forward and say something because he's black. Just to
Hey,
keep
man,
everyone safe.
who you judging us? Don't judge us for swinging through the trees on our ropes.
That apparently did not matter to Schaaf, who said in a statement that it does not matter. Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf. Maybe it's Schaaf. I don't know, but it's 2 A's.
They call her Mr. Tibbs.
That apparently did not matter to this bitch, who said in a statement that it does not matter if the ropes were part of exercise equipment because that does not remove nor excuse their torturous and terrorizing effects. Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god. It doesn't matter what their purpose was.
That chick is definitely
It
white.
doesn't matter that they are actually new. Oh, there's a picture of her right here. She's very tan.
Yeah, it's a contrived look so that she can not be considered white.
In a statement, she said, "Symbols of racial violence have no place..." Oh, wait, hold on. "Symbols of racial violence have no place in Oakland and will not be tolerated. Several nooses found on trees around Lake Merritt were removed and will be investigated as hate crimes. Reports that these were part of exercise equipment do not remove nor excuse their torturous and terrorizing effects. We are all responsible for knowing the history and present-day reality of lynchings, hate crimes, and racial violence. Objects that invoke such terror will not be tolerated in Oakland's public spaces."
What is this voice you're using?
I don't know, it just seemed fitting. Schaff, or
May I
Schaaf,
speak to the manager? I'd like to see your boss.
Schaaf, who has been accused of obstructing justice by tipping off illegal aliens to raids by immigrations and customs enforcement officials,
Oh, yeah, she's a bad bitch.
made similar statements at a news conference. She later posted a video to her Twitter account that spliced together different parts of remarks that she gave at the press conference. "The Oakland Police Department has turned over the evidence to the FBI." This is her speaking, but I'm tired of doing that voice. "We have to start with the assumption that these are hate crimes," Schaaf said. "Hate crimes!"
The assumption that the black man committed a hate crime.
By wanting to exercise. Yeah. "We cannot take these actions lightly. These symbols are symbols of racial violence, and it's incumbent on all of us to have that sensitivity, to have that knowledge, and that is why I have directed our staff to remove any such symbol of hatred, regardless of the intention of what put it there."
Of what put it there? The intention
She
of
just
what
called
put
the
it
black
there?
man a what, yes.
Wow.
Regardless of the intention of what put it there. She just took away that black man's personhood.
She said,
"You want to know where the slave owners are? Right there."
he's not smart enough to have done it.
"What a privilege for those of us that don't feel complete fear and terror when we see a rope in a tree."
I do not
Oh
feel
my
complete
God.
fear and terror. But I don't know of any black man that, like, walking down the street, sees a rope in a tree, and just, like, freaks out and panics. Don't know any of them.
When we see a rope in a tree, that is a privilege that so many of our African American residents do not enjoy, Schaaf continued.
They don't enjoy not being... Who are these poor, pathetic people?
Like I've said on my videos before, if you're living in fear, that's your own fault. It's the fault of your parents for telling you whatever they told you. That's all. "You see an overwhelming amount of anguish, of rage, of fatigue, of grief, and yes, the fact that we had an extremist charged with the murder of Patrick Underwood, an extremist group, the Boogaloos, that is trying to foment a race war. We have to see this moment for what it is, a reckoning." It's because the race war is coming from the far right.
Really? Because that's not...
That's what they're saying.
I'm getting. Pretty sure the race war is coming from the people who think all black people are supposed to think a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, they're going to rise up. Because black people express themselves through violence, according to CNN.
Mm-hmm.
These are just frustrated people. They're angry. They need to be heard. Well, we can't hear them over the sound of the burning Wendy's.
And there's more quote from her. "And in Oakland, we cannot further terrorize or traumatize our black residents. And yes, the incidents of the last few weeks, but frankly of the last few centuries, is the backdrop upon which we have to make these decisions today."
Is it Oakland?
Yes, Oakland.
Hey Siri, how many lynchings on record in Oakland, California?
Okay.
Lynchings, you stupid twat. Okay, hold on. Mansions?
Enough is enough. And again, the intentions do not matter. Oh, again, the intentions do not matter. because the harm is real, Schaff concluded. They will matter with regard to whether or not this is in fact charged as a hate crime. Charged! They might charge this black guy with a hate crime for putting nooses, supposed nooses, alleged nooses, in trees for exercising. But they do not matter about whether or not we should tolerate symbols of hate and violence and torture in our public spaces. They do not have a place here in Oakland. On Thursday, in what appeared to be a separate incident altogether, Schaff wrote in a statement that a human effigy hung from a tree at Lake Merritt was removed by officials. Earlier this morning, we removed a human effigy hung from a tree at Lake Merritt, a deliberate and vile attempt to traumatize and divide Oaklanders. We immediately engaged the FBI to investigate this heinous act of what it clearly is, a hate crime, Schaff wrote. We are in a raw and outraged moment as a city and a country right now. I ask Oaklanders to be vigilant and build your own conscience, not conscience. Build your own conscience of the trauma caused by symbols of racial violence. I think you mean consciousness? Build your own consciousness of the trauma caused by symbols of racial violence? Ugh. Okay, that's over with. Did you find what you're looking for?
Hold on. I'm reading about the last lynching in Oakland, California.
Which was...
It was an official lynching. Like, they stormed San Jose. It wasn't even Oakland. They stormed the San Jose County Jail and pulled out 2 confessed kidnapping and murderers of a young boy.
Yeah, but what color were they?
That's what I'm trying to check. It doesn't say African American in here anywhere, so I'm fairly certain they were not African American. Because, there's not an article ever written anymore that doesn't show, like, people's color or party affiliation, unless they're Democrats. Well, where the hell are these pictures at, you stupid bastard? But yeah, 1933. November 26, 1933. 9 p.m. on a Sunday. Newspaper accounts as a well-dressed after-theater street crowd invaded the county jail in San Jose, dragged out 2 accused kidnappers and murderers, and hung them from trees in the city's principal park.
Wow.
Men running full tilt with battering rams, crashing into the steel doors of the jail. The nude bodies of the suspects swinging from the tree limbs that later were sawed off for souvenirs. Onlookers, including women and children, staring at photographers. Yeah, because that's what you do to men who kidnap, bind, and let's see what else they did.
What year did you say this was?
1933.
1933.
The pair had admitted to kidnapping Hart, robbing and binding him, and throwing him off the bridge. Wait, how old was this kid? Oh, he's 22 years old. And they admitted to doing this because he was like a newspaper boy or some shit. And so they were admitted murderers, but that's the last lynching in San Jose, California, on record. 1933. Wow. So you'll find me the young people that are walking around in fear of shit hanging from trees.
Well, yeah, if they are, it's because of the deception of what they've been taught. Because of the lies that they've been taught. Democrat Portland mayor who kept police from responding to 2018 ICE protests shuts down autonomous zone near his home.
Say that again?
I'm not sure what he did in 2018 has to do with this, but anyway. Democrat Portland mayor, who kept police from responding to 2018 ICE protests, shuts down autonomous zone near his home. So another case of, like, once it actually is close to you, then you're gonna take action.
Oh shit, they're in my neighborhood. Yeah, you burned it all down. Let that motherfucker burn. A few tweets later. Oh shit, they're in my neighborhood. This violence has to stop.
And there's a bunch of ads. Okay. Moving on to the Daily Yahoo.
The Daily Yahoo.
Brought to you by Yahoo News.
The Spin Zone.
Florida, Arizona. Experts weigh in on which states are primed to be next COVID-19 hotspots.
Woo.
While the Northeast is seeing a decrease in new cases of COVID-19, many states across the South are seeing surges, experts say. Experts said.
You mean testing is more widespread now, so therefore...
It could be that. But also yesterday they ran a story that mentioned that there are fewer deaths with this spike. So I'm thinking all of the healthy people who stayed home out of supposed courtesy for all those months are finally tired of staying home, so they're coming out and they're getting infected, but they're healthy, so we might actually achieve the herd immunity that Sweden has.
Sweden.
Wedding photographer shuts down bride who asked for refund over Black Lives Matter posts.
And they hung him.
An Ohio photographer is being praised online after shutting down a client who tried to terminate her contract over her support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Over the photographer's support?
Obviously.
I guess so.
But now she's being forced to stay in a...
Contract with somebody who she has fundamental disagreements with.
That seems wrong.
And I mean, that sort of thing is totally okay to happen like all the time because people usually are supposed to not talk about politics and stuff like that. But once you know, then it's perfectly understandable to be uncomfortable. Florida reports record high spike in coronavirus cases and a plunging median age of infection. Despite the surge, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said he wouldn't issue a statewide order requiring face masks. Because it's also a plunging rate of death. They're not saying that, but that's what they said yesterday. The Navy is blaming the captain it fired for accurate COVID-19 warning. Navy Captain Brett Crozier has been vindicated after warning of a dire coronavirus outbreak aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt, but he broke protocol.
Yeah, he's not getting his job back.
Why do people not care about protocol?
I do.
I do.
That's why I'll never forgive Bradley Manning or Snowden, traitors to the United States. I'm sorry, a dead-named old Chelsea Manning. My bad.
I'm sure there was a way to ask for help somehow without breaking protocol and releasing this to the media and the world. Warning of a dire coronavirus outbreak aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt, just not by the Navy, which on Friday announced that it will not reverse Crozier's firing for the infraction of trying to save his sailors' lives. Oh, the infraction of trying to save his sailors' lives. Yeah. DOJ tries to oust U.S. attorney investigating Trump allies. The Justice Department moved abruptly Friday night to oust Jeffrey S. Berman, the U.S. attorney in Manhattan overseeing key prosecutions of President Donald Trump's allies and an investigation of his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. The standoff set off an extraordinary clash between the Justice Department and blah, 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 somebody else.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Bill Maher begs millennials to storm beaches and malls and buy pants.
What?
Bill Maher begged millennials to lead America back to a life not dominated by fear. Okay, this sounds good. And show the world they're more than anxiety-ridden scaredy cats. Yeah, but they're not. They're obviously not. This is your time, the host of HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher said Sunday, addressing the much maligned demographic. Okay, I'll click on this. We're almost an hour in. We've been doing this for almost an hour, but I'll still click on this because this is interesting.
Bill Maher finally gets one right.
Oh, he's right sometimes.
Yeah, no. Begrudgingly, I admit.
This is your time, the host of HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher said Sunday, addressing the much-maligned demo at the close of New Rules. After all, he said, the greatest generation was only great after storming the beaches of Normandy in World War II. Oh, no, is he... Now he's comparing storming the beaches of Normandy to storming malls. Going shopping. That's not good. Just storm the beaches and the malls. Go buy pants. Live your pre-corona life because you are the least likely to die from it, he said. This is true. It's just hilarious that he's gonna compare shopping to storming the beaches of Normandy. That's even worse than referring to the healthcare workers as the frontline workers. Nobody's shooting at them.
But they might get sick.
Yeah.
Well, shit, they might have gotten sick more often as healthcare workers anyway because they're around sick people all the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, be careful, but break out of the prison the government has created, he said. It wasn't the government, really. It was the panic of the people, and then the government was appeasing them. It was
the media.
It's a prison of appeasement in response to the panic of the media and the people.
Here's what happened. Way back in the Village of the Damned, whatever, the State of the Union, in the State of the Union address, Trump said he's keeping an eye on this coronavirus thing out of China. And then Nancy Pelosi tore up the speech because it's all lies, damn lies. Mm-hmm. And then he was expressing concern and then we were monitoring it. So the media downplayed all of it to make him look like an idiot because Orange Man bad. Mm-hmm. Then the world started seeing all the high death tolls and stuff because average age in Italy is 44 or some shit. So there was 1,000 people dying a day. So then all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, we're going to freak the fuck out. But Orange Man's still bad racist.
Hey Trump, why aren't you doing more?
Yeah. And so they went from not doing anything to stoking the flames. So everybody panicked and freaked the fuck out.
This is good. This is a continuation of his quote. Safety is a virtue, but if it was... I don't think that safety is a virtue, but anyway, safety is a virtue. But if it was the only one, nothing would ever get done. That's a good thing. In an hour that flitted from pandemic to politics to police and the Supreme Court, Maher and potential Joe Biden running mate Susan Rice had little patience for Democrats who don't think Barack Obama's VP is woke enough. The former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and National Security Advisor warned protesters who may wish for a more radical agenda than Biden's not to lose sight of the alternative.
So Biden's woke.
Apparently. We have a choice. Either Donald Trump remains in office, who is governed in a blatantly divisive way. Oh, that's bullshit.
Oh, really?
Or Joe Biden, who understands it's time to invest in health and education and so many of the underlying issues that have contributed to the systemic racism in this country, she said. I know him. There is nobody who brings to this challenge a greater sense of the humanity we all share. I would urge people to be very mindful of the choice. It couldn't be more stark. Why did we move on to this when we were starting with something so good?
Because they had to change it back.
Yeah.
You can't end anything happy or sternly. It's all got to be dreary and anti-Trump.
Maher slammed the New York Times for its "Yes, we mean literally abolish the police" editorial. That's good. And he applauded conservative George Will for writing that the Senate should go Democratic because a party's bad management, the GOP, must be punished or it won't change. I don't know who this George Will is, but shut the fuck up, dude. Ah, yes, of course he took a dig at the Academy Awards. Apparently, he wrote that the Senate should go Democrat because a party's bad management, the GOP, must be punished or it won't change. How about you could oust the older incumbents with
my beef there
younger
is that
blood, but still the younger blood that's on your side.
My beef there is the...
More like Ted Cruz.
Oh, yeah. Well, my beef there is that the Democrats have had the House for some time now. So how is it bad?
Yeah, somebody should be telling the Democrats that their places should go Republican because a party's bad management must be punished or it won't change. Ah, yes, of course, he took a dig at the Academy Awards. The Oscars are going to be delayed because of the pandemic, and they are not making any movies. The committee said, we just need more time not to get it right, no matter what we do. Ha ha ha. Okay, that's all.
Not to get it right.
Yeah. They need more time to not get it right.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Featured, elderly couple reunited after COVID-19 battle.
Reunited
And it feels so good. Don Hoffman and his wife Joyce are back together after being separated for a month while Joyce received treatment in the hospital, the longest they've been apart in 67 years of marriage. Aww.
Oh, that's so cute.
What is this? There's a picture and they're holding a sign up that says, COVID-19 can't stop our love.
Can't stop this love. Love! Love! Love!
Do you want to know what's hot? It's Yahoo Search. It's always Yahoo Search.
Yahoo Search is
All the
always
stuff.
hot.
It's all the stuff that you can search with Yahoo Search. Trending now, yeah. Trending now, Julianne Hough, Selena Reyes Hernandez.
Sure it's Huff?
Yeah, I'm positive.
That was
Father's
Ho.
Day. What?
That was Ho.
Julianne Ho?
Yeah.
It's not Ho, I promise. It's Huff.
I was hoping it was Ho.
Father's Day 2020. Lara Logan, Jennifer Aniston, mortgage refinancing rates, Linda Cardellini, home advisor's website. Linda Cardellini was trending yesterday or the day before. I wonder what she's been saying.
Oh, probably something stupid that'll ruin her for me.
Maybe.
That's the hot chick that plays Velma, right?
Yes. And Hawkeye's wife.
She should just be Velma all the time.
But she's also Hawkeye's wife.
No, it doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
Velma, all
Okay.
the time.
Okay. Home advisor's website.
She needs to be looking for her glasses on my floor.
Photo blankets. Christine Costner. That is sexual harassment.
Is it? Is she here to hear it?
Yeah, nobody watches my videos anymore. Christine Costner is
That'd
that...
be the one that goes viral. This dude talking about Linda Cardellini crawling around on the floor looking for her glasses.
Well, in that case, thank you for making me go viral. Is Christine Costner Kevin Costner's daughter?
I don't know. But she has the same name as a celebrity, so she must be famous.
Okay. And
Something.
last thing, we're just going to tack this on at the very end. Cowboys Wire, brought to you by USA Today.
Dak Prescott, still a tool.
And it starts with something that I read 2 days ago.
Splat.
Cowboys News. Zeke's COVID fallout. Lamb and Cooper run routes. Larry Allen made guys sit out. And I actually clicked on this 2 days ago and went through the whole thing. So I'm not doing that again.
Lamb and Cooper sit out?
Huh?
What are they sitting out of?
No, Larry Allen made guys sit out. Lamb and Cooper run routes. And there's a video of Lamb practicing running his routes.
Why did Larry Allen make people sit out?
I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, because they were afraid to go up against him.
Sup, homie?
Hey, because they were afraid to go up against him.
Against Larry Allen?
Yeah.
He retired for a minute.
Yeah,
He's
this
still a
is
beast,
not a now thing. This is like a looking back thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go out there. Motherfucker bench press 700 pounds.
Okay. Anyway, SportsWire. Follow your favorite teams and discover the biggest stories first on App Store and Google Play. Cowboys News. Happy Juneteenth. Adams asked to be cut loose from Jets. So
Really?
not just
Yeah.
seeking a trade now. He literally is wanting to be
He wants out.
out.
And I'm down with that.
Just when it seemed the NFL was in a slow news period, Pro Bowl safety Jamal Adams asks the New York Jets to trade him. Okay, but yes, we already knew that he wanted to be traded, but your headline says now he just wants to be cut loose. Odds makers like Jamal Adams to Dallas. Cowboys have nothing yet. It had been almost 3 weeks since Jamal Adams' rumblings were last heard around Cowboys Nation, so the latest news shouldn't come as a huge surprise, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah,
Blah, blah, blah.
blah, blah, blah.
Schultz searching for more than Cowboys peanuts in pivotal season.
Peanuts?
Peanuts. Schultz. I don't know that name.
Tight end.
In April 2018, future Hall of Fame tight end Jason Witten announced his retirement from the NFL in the middle of the draft. So yeah, he must be a tight end.
I just said that.
I was confirming. SiriusXM, listen at home, 4 months for free. More headlines. Cole Hikutini has chance of his lifetime, with Cowboys in 2020.
Who that?
Cole Hikutini?
What's he do?
I don't know.
He play football? He played that football?
Noah Brown has to block
that
frustration like he does DBs to make Cowboys 2020 roster. Lamb projected top rookie wide receiver, but will Cowboys offense allow for it?
Look at Randall Cobb. Plus, Amari Cooper takes every out of town game off.
Mm-hmm. On Juneteenth, DT, defensive tackle Gerald McCoy, asks Cowboys owner to say something. Oh, say something, say something, say something that says something, say something that says something. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. No, no, no. Sometimes the greatest way to say something is to say nothing at all. That's what I have to say to that. Jets Jamal Adams requests permission to seek trade. That's old news. CBS Sports names Cooper sixth best wide receiver heading into 2020.
What's up, homie?
Okay, we're done now.
Thank God.
And
Thank
that's
dogness.
over an hour. Goodbye. No, I don't want to click on that. I wanted to stop it.
The